This is Marathon 105, Sharing Your Gifts. We're about to dive into this incredible conversation, how to share your message with more audiences so people want to share you. Before we dive into that, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And specifically for you listening, I know you're a freaking world changer. I know that you want to make a bigger impact in the world. I know that you want more fulfillment, more success, more happiness, better relationships, more connection with your spiritual power. You want things to flow. And I'm here for you, however I can support you. Number one, with this marathon, keep tuning in to the podcast, to the marathon, subscribe to iTunes. I'll tell you a little bit more about how you can do that in a second. And I'm also here to answer your questions. Anything that you're going through, any kind of challenges, if you have specific topics that you want us to cover, let us know. Also, if you're someone who wants to get your message out on the 12-hour marathon, let's talk. I want to support you however I can. Let's get a conversation scheduled and see if it's a great fit for both of us. Also, if you are currently in the phase of exploring the possibility of podcasting, send me a message. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want to jump on a call, I'm happy to do that as well. Whatever the case might be, I'm here for you to help you get your message out even more. Usually run quarterly masterminds to help people launch their podcasts in 90 days or less. So we got a lot of things going on. And if any of those sounds like fun for you and interesting and valuable, then get a conversation scheduled. Send me a message. You can reach me, facebook.com/th3burns. Send me a message there. You can find me on Instagram at IamMillionaireChris. And also send me an email, chris@beyourgps.com. That's BEYOURGPS.com, chris@beyourgps.com. And just let me know what you're working on and how I can support you and what the next best steps for us are. We can create those together. Looking forward to talking to you. Next is the iTunes review of the week. Let's see who it's by this week. It's by Rach Gibster13. I love this review. I wanted to share it again. Actionable tips to up-level your life. I absolutely love what Chris has done with this podcast. He brings such great energy to each episode and really leaves you with actionable tips you can implement today to make a change. So grateful to be taught by him. Thanks so much, Rach. I appreciate you. And if you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, search to Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store. Let us know how we're doing, what you love about the show, what you want to see more of, how we can improve it. We love the feedback. And also, definitely subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast so you get all the latest updates, because seriously, I will share with you, left to my own devices, especially years ago, I would just kind of sit and wallow in my aloneness, in my pity party, in my victim mentality. And it was seriously through live events, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, joining and engaging and being active in communities that I truly started to climb my way out of that place and become my greatest possible self. So this is one of those cornerstones of your life that you can count on every day to really keep yourself empowered, motivated with new, fresh, inspiring information, people's stories, people's journeys, and just knowing that if they can do it, so can you. Okay, so keep tuning in, subscribe at beyourgps.com/iTunes, or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store or whatever podcast platform you prefer. Okay, so this particular hour, we're going to have a lot of fun diving into sharing your message, more people, more audiences, and having them want to share you. And specifically, today's theme is sharing your gifts. So I wanted to start off on talking about that. So sharing your gifts. Why sharing your gifts? Well, in part, I have Adam and Annette who are going to be coming on today. Amazing human beings. And they are truly about unlocking your gifts and sharing that in the world in a big way. And they both do it in a very different and unique way. Particularly, Adam's going to be talking about branding and your website and your appearance and how you show up in today's digital economy, digital environment and ecosystem. And then Annette is going to talk more about your spiritual sacred gifts, your purpose, and how to really illuminate and get clarity on those. So we're going to have an incredible conversation on that later today. But both of them are about really displaying, being articulate, clear, and conveying your greatest gifts with the world so that people can grow because of your gifts, so that people can be benefited. Really, it's like sharing your gifts. Everyone has gifts. And I think a lot of people go through life just not feeling like they have anything, not believing like they have anything, not thinking that they have anything of real value. They totally downplay and minimize themselves, and they feel kind of worthless, kind of insignificant, like they don't really matter. I know I felt like that personally, and it crushes me to see people doing that. It crushes me to see people engaged in really like low vibe, habitual patterns of numbing, of avoiding, of just wasting life, wasting their potential, wasting their genius, wasting the love that they have to give to the world. It's like really frustrating. And in fact, something that came to my mind, I haven't thought about this in a long time, but one of my childhood neighbors, Katie Peterson, shout out to Katie and Kyle Peterson, amazing human beings, and just great people. My neighbor Katie, she was in high school, like I think she's like 8 years older than me or something like that. So I was still a kid and she was in high school. And she had this guy at her school named Justin. And Justin would go to school like super trashed, super hungover, probably high. I don't remember the specifics of it, but she just kept saying like he's such a genius and he just shows up and he crushes these tests and like just dominates in terms of scholastic achievement, his grades and just knowing the answers. But he was so consumed with partying and drinking and drugs and that kind of a culture of wasting his life, numbing and avoiding. I'm sure there was lots of stuff that he was going through. I don't know what was going on in his family life. Don't know the guy, never met him. But I heard from Katie that it was brilliant, a brilliant genius, but there was these tendencies about him that, oh, it's kind of cool that he I don't know how he's so smart and succeeds so much, and I got to study my ass off, and he probably didn't spend any time on it, but he shows up and crushes it. It's like it breaks my heart knowing that he most likely he didn't get out of that phase. It like I'm so freaking blessed. I'm so blessed that I hit my rock bottom right after college. Who knows? Maybe he hit his rock bottom. He's bouncing up and he's living a really successful, happy, prosperous, fulfilling life. I pray that is the case. And most likely, people take a lot of time to wake up, to wake up from making bad decisions. I think that it's not as often that people get their wake up calls and have challenging experiences in life and course correct. I'm super blessed that I discovered personal development. I'm super blessed that I had an environment and people around me who kept me on the straight path, the honorable, integrous, ethical path. I'm so grateful for that. Even when I deviated, I wasn't being that person. I wasn't being the honorable. I wasn't being the integrous. I wasn't being the ethical person, making this planet a better place than when I found it, back in my early 20s and late teens. And I'm grateful that I bounced back and discovered my gifts. And my goodness gracious, it has been a long, a long journey, a very challenging, difficult, overwhelming, full of frustration, full of heartbreak, full of being let down, not being the man that I know is within me and not knowing how to execute on those gifts, not knowing how to share them with the world. And you might see me today on this 12-hour marathon interviewing 570 freaking amazing human beings. Thank you. Speaking at live events, writing my book, a business partner that's freaking incredible and brilliant and genius in all things business. He's writing his own book. Like, so amazing. Not only that, not just business, but spiritually, I'm so connected with my higher power, more connected than I've ever been. My relationship with the woman of my dreams is better than it's ever been. We're going deeper and having these amazing conversations and just appreciating each other and letting each other know how like loved we are. appreciate the home that I have, the sacred space that I'm able to do my work in, my office, do this 12-hour marathon. Like, I'm so grateful for all these things. And I'm able to share my gifts with the world because I've worked on myself so freaking much. I am obsessed. Like, I've had a burning obsession for things, whatever it is, like this burning passion, this burning fire within me directed at whatever I chose since I was, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that. Like I really got obsessed with video games. Like I had video games to stoke my fires of obsession, of just intention, attention, focus. I could be focused on video games for hours, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours without even getting up. That's fucking achievement. Like Chris Burns, I'm patting myself on the shoulder. That is achievement. I acknowledge myself for that. But it wasn't being directed in a healthy way. I was directing it towards video games, wasting my life. I love video games today still. Like I still have to say, man, I want to go play some video games. And I got some really important things that I'm building. So I get to redirect my focus and my energy for now, especially 99% of the time into the building, into the cultivating relationships, creating my empire, creating burn up coaching, becoming your greatest possible self. I know there's plenty of time to play. And in fact, I'm playing right now. This is play for me. This is fun. This is joy for me. And I'm going to talk even more about how to share yourself so that people want to share you. But this is important for me to communicate to you. I want you to get this. I want you to get that when you're discovering yourself, when you are committed to self-mastery, when you're having fun, when you're playing, when you're redirecting the pent-up passion, anxiety, frustration, overwhelm, and you learn how to transmute that into your gifts, into energy for your gifts, into energy for your purpose. That's the secret. It's like so many people have so much energy and whether it's like pent up, stored up emotion that they shove down, that they repress, and they don't feel free, but they're constricted, but they're frustrated, and like they take another step every day. They have to get up, they have to go to work, they have to do the dang thing, and they're feeling miserable. That energy, whether they choose misery or joy, that energy is still going to be expended in a daily basis. It's just one is miserable and one is fun, one is fulfilling, one is free, and one is joyous. It's all about how that person is looking at it. So I'm really sharing this with you because to own and master your gifts, whatever they are, you really get to start loving yourself. You get to start working on yourself. You get to choose you exactly where you are, exactly where you aren't, exactly the things that are working in your life, and exactly the things that aren't. Total acceptance of who you are. Radical acceptance, radical authenticity, radical vulnerability and openness with yourself. You got to go freaking deep, peeps. You got to go deep. My GPS peeps. You got to go deep to really uncover who you are. And I would like to say I have everything figured out. I know exactly who I am, and I know exactly who I'm not. And I still have a lot of room to grow. I still have a ton of room to grow. We all do. And from where I was 7 years ago when I started my entrepreneurial journey, oh my goodness gracious, I have grown so freaking much. I've grown so much. And I'm proud of myself. And I acknowledge myself for the level of commitment I have, the burning obsession, redirecting my focus into healthy, productive, contributive channels to society, to the world, to the planet as a whole. I totally acknowledge myself for that growth. Are you acknowledging yourself for being exactly where you are? Are you acknowledging yourself for the challenges, for the obstacles that you've overcome? Are you forgiving yourself? Okay. I would not be able to own my gifts of sharing my message, of putting other people in the spotlight, celebrating them, of having a podcast. I would not be here unless I was willing to break through my insecurities. I used to be shy, introverted, like feeling like a disappointment, the biggest disappointment in the world, the farthest thing from greatest possible self you could imagine, right? Just not being a good human being in my own definition, in my own mindset. So everyone has their own definition of what a good human being is. Personal values wise, I knew I was off track. And I could have stayed in that place and I could have said, that's who I am. I'm stuck. I'm effed. I wanted to rhyme right there. I could say fuck. I'm stuck. I'm fucked. I might as well give up. By the way, some parts of me still like wants to keep it clean, because I know the more accessible I am to as many audiences as possible, the better. And I know that there's also speaking truth, and I know it's also what I stand for is that words are powerful, words create, and freedom of self-expression. There's so many different personalities that are like clashing together with saying the F word. It's funny. Self-awareness, baby. Gotta love it. The gifts, though, the gifts became more and more illuminated simply by showing up, simply by having conversations. For me, I really recommend for you out there, whether you want to record podcast episodes with conversations of people who you respect, you admire, you look up to, you are inspired by, whether you want to record them or just have them in private, either way, you better be having those damn conversations. You better be around people who make you uncomfortable. You better be around people who challenge you to grow. You better be around people whose success and achievements, they make you say, damn, how will I ever get there? How will I ever achieve that? How will I ever have 1 million followers, 1 million fans, 1 million people on my, my email list? How will I ever get to that point? Seems impossible. And because they have done it, you can do it. If they can do it, you can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. So just keep reminding yourself of that, and don't put so much pressure on yourself to be somewhere or to have a certain level of impact and success. Have a sense of urgency. Have a sense of positive pressure, but don't allow it to be anxiety. Don't allow it to be disempowering. Make sure that pressure is empowering. Make sure you feel good about that pressure. It might be a little bit nervous. You might be excited. You might be like, oh, like your nerves are going. Don't let it instill fear in you, though. Don't allow that. Allow excitement. Allow being energized. Allow being alive. Like, this is what it means to be alive. Like, I'm like firing on all cylinders. Standing in front of a room full of 200, 300 people, man, I am firing on all cylinders. This is intense. This is epic. This is the juice. This is the thrill, the adrenaline rush. So I just wanted to share that because it's super, super important for you to own your gifts. Okay. So specifically, I want to talk about how to share your message, more audiences, so people want to share you. Okay. First off, really recognize that when you're doing good in the world, people see it, people recognize it, and you will be celebrated. And I think the first thing I want to share about people sharing you and wanting to share you is don't make it about you getting the spotlight. Be aware of how to promote yourself, how to speak positively about yourself, how to share your freaking wins and achievements, and be your biggest champion. This is an area I really get to grow in as well. So I'm right there with you. Standing in front of a group of people and saying how awesome I am, not from a place of insecurity that my ego needs the validation, but rather saying, this is who I am, this is what I've accomplished, and this is why you should listen to me, and this is why I deserve to receive your thousands of dollars, because I have the track record, because I have the experience, because I've done these things. That's why I'm sharing these things with you. That's why I'm inspiring you with what's possible. And some people might be turned off by it. Some people might be triggered by your pride in yourself. And I think it's really interesting because in the Bible it says something about like someone who's prideful is like, it's like sin, it's wrong to be prideful. I call bullshit. Be freaking S. And if everyone who, listens to this and who also believes in Christianity and says, "Oh my gosh, Chris, you're prideful. I am never listening to this show again." Great. Bye. I'm not tripping over it, okay? I love you, love the Bible, love so many things about it. And this thing that I think Christianity has espoused and taught, religion, maybe not the Bible, but religion and churches and things like that. I love churches too. Awesome. And there's these certain things that every institution, every culture has things that really work about it and are awesome, and some things that just aren't so great. And for me, pride is so freaking important. You have to celebrate yourself. You have to be proud of yourself and what you're able to produce, your gifts. You have to be proud of your freaking gifts, and you have to demand that you get paid accordingly. You have to demand that people recognize that value. You have to demand that the people around you speak highly of your gifts. For the most part, you might have some constructive criticism. You might have some fiery truth. You might have some tough love coaching in your life to really get to your next level. And for the most part, you are empowered. For the most part, you are empowered by those people around you. If you have people around you who talk crap about your gifts, the greatest things that you're proud of, and they don't allow you to be proud of those things, you need to distance the F out of yourself from those people and say, I love you. And these are my gifts. This is my truth. This is what's important to me. And if you can't handle it, if you can't be around this, I really got to be around more people who vibe like this, who value what I value, who believe in what I believe. So circling back around, to have people want to share you, make it about, well, number one, you got to own your gifts. You got to be proud of it. You got to be able to share yourself first. But after you've done that, because I think a lot of people get stuck there. A lot of people really are not able to promote themselves, acknowledge themselves, be proud of themselves, and claim who they are, declare what they stand for, who they are, what people can count on them for, and have that power behind what they say and who they are. The second part after that, though, that's not the whole part. That's foundation. That's base level number one. You got to love yourself. You got to recognize that, you've been imbued and embodied with these gifts. So it's up to you to go share them with the world. If you don't share them, nobody else will. And hey, you'll die with your gift still inside of you. You'll have regrets. You won't leave a legacy, and you'll be pissed off because you didn't take action. You played small. You walked on fucking eggshells for your life. And I know that's not what you want. And if you're loving this conversation, definitely take a screenshot of the Facebook Live, the podcast, whatever it might be. Tag me on Facebook stories, Instagram stories at I am Millionaire Chris. Would love to hear what you're getting out of this so far. If you really need to step into your pride, if you are blessed with this lesson, with this gift, to step into your pride, to step into your confidence that this is who you are, and you own it, and you're aligned with it, and you don't feel any kind of resentment or shame or when you own your value, when you own what you can do for people. Because it's important that people know. If you got gifts to share, if you got a message to deliver, you got to own it. You got to preach it. You got to share it shout it from the rooftops. You got to unleash the awareness and the campaign, the mission that you are all about. So I think that another part of having people want to share you is make it clear of what you do and who you are and what you stand for, but also make the mission about something bigger than yourself, right? For me, it's like greatest possible self. This is so much bigger than Chris Burns. GPS is so much freaking bigger. Number one, with all these amazing human beings who come on the show, 570 guests over the last 2.5 years, like this has to be about bigger than me. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this for 12 hours straight every single week if it was all about Chris. No, this is about celebrating and highlighting human beings who are doing fucking magical things in the world, miraculous things, sharing their hearts, sharing their love, sharing their greatest gifts and wisdom with the world. That is the only way I could do this, is I love loving other people. I love being able to do solo rounds too. This is a blast for me. I love speaking. I love communicating. It's one of my favorite things to do. Put me in the spotlight, coach. I'll go. And I know how good it feels to be here solo. I know how good it feels to be interviewed, to be sharing my story, to be able to make a difference in 1, 10, 10,000, 10 million people's lives. I love making that difference. And I love teaching other people showing, empowering them, illuminating the difference that they can make, helping them step into their role, into their creatorship, being responsible for their life, into their sovereign messenger role and abilities to share their message with the world. So make it about something bigger than you. How are you, let's get tactical here. I want you to write down, what's your mission? What's your mission that's bigger than you? If you don't have this, freaking write it down. And even if you do have it, write it down again. For me, my purpose for my life is to awaken the power within each person I meet so they can discover and experience the God, source, creator, universe, spirit within, their true self. Embracing them, ultimately embracing them in even more joy, love, and transcendence. Hoorah! That's my freaking mission. That's my life purpose. Awakening the power within each person I meet. Number one, I am unleashing people all around me. That's holy guacamole. Put people in the spotlight, let them unleash. Not only that, but every time someone steps onto this platform, becoming your greatest possible self, it is my energetic container that I'm creating, that they get closer to their source. They get closer to connection with themselves, to loving themselves, to their purpose, to their happiness, to their joy, to their highest vibration. I awaken people. I am healing people simply by being on this platform. Did you know that? Did you know that giving people the microphone, saying share your story in an empowering way that makes a difference, and the positive pressure is on for the guests to show up in an empowering, congruent, aligned way, not a victim. Sometimes, hey, let's face it, 570 guests on this show, plus 570 plus, in the last 2.5 years. Do you think some of them might have a disempowering memory, experience, emotion about something in their life, in their past, and in their story? Yes or yes? F yes, right? I have disempowering things, right? For the most part, I don't, but I know that there's things that I haven't yet discovered, things that I don't know, that I haven't yet transformed, okay? And definitely people who've come on the show, they have these skeletons in their closet that they haven't confronted yet. They have these dragons that they haven't slain yet. They have these caves that they've totally feared to enter, and they haven't entered. And it's all good. It's called the human journey. We all do it at the perfect time. We all show up and confront what we're willing to and meant to confront in this lifetime, accept, embrace, love, heal the shadow, wounded little child, whatever it might be, at the perfect time. Now, these people get an opportunity to remind themselves, you know what? I am being and becoming my greatest possible self. I'm a freaking champion. Just by stepping onto this platform and having an opportunity to share their story in an empowering way, knowing that they're making a difference in your life and people's lives, they are shifting their identity. Their identity is transforming. Who they see themselves as is not a victim, is not a powerless little pity party person who just sits in the corner and hides, but rather someone who's committed, who's dedicated, who's dedicating their life, their energy, their presence to others, to making a difference, to sharing their message, to illuminating people's paths, to healing others. That's some good energy people are putting into their lives as well as the people around them's lives. So temporarily, it's kind of like a movie theater. When you go to a movie theater, you forget about anything that's going on in your world. You're totally in the movie. At least that's for me. Maybe people bring their problems with them and they're thinking about them during the movie. I'm immersed. I'm in the movie. That's me. The character is me. I'm that character. I'm that guy. Okay, cool. It's temporarily I forget who I am. So the same thing happens here on the marathon, except it's kind of a positive. It's a positive pressure. You don't have any other choice but to step into your GPS on this camera, because I won't let you. I won't let you have a pity party on this show. I don't tolerate that. I don't stand for that. Some people might stay in the crap and the muck and the crappy memories for a little bit longer than I would prefer. But hey, I always make sure that we get out of that and talk about, hey, what were the lessons that you learned because of that experience? I love what I'm doing in the world. And my purpose of empowering people, helping them reconnect to themselves, learn their lessons, shift their identity, upgrade their vibration. When they walk off this show, when they turn the camera off, they are more joyous, more loving, and they've grown because they've practiced. They've practiced presenting themselves and stepping into the identity of I make a difference, I matter, this message matters. Boom. I'm proud of myself. It's like just showing up here, they have to be in the energy of I'm doing something right. I'm taking a step in the right direction. Doing an interview, it's got to be taking a step in the right direction. It's got to be like you can't step onto a platform like Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self and say, man, that was like I totally went the wrong direction. I totally did devolved. I totally atrophied. I died because of this platform. Pardon my French, but fuck no. When people step on this, they are alivened. And because I provide that space and that attention and intention of growth, of empowerment, of expansion, while people are on here, that's what the audience receives as well. That's what you receive. That's what you get. And that's why you send me messages. That's why you say, thank you for this podcast. That's why you say, thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for this message. It came at the freaking perfect time. I love seeing messages like that. I love getting that feedback. I love being reflected that I am on purpose. Even if I didn't get another one of those messages for the rest of my life, though, I'd still keep doing it because I know that people are having that difference made in their life. And I know that this is just the beginning, and I'm already getting hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, what we're doing, what we're creating here. So make it about something bigger than yourself. I hope you wrote something down because you had like 15 freaking minutes while I was talking there. Write down a mission that's bigger than you. What's the mission? What's the cause? What's the thing? For me, it's like make this planet better than when I found it, raise the vibration of humanity, teach people how to return to their source and get connected back to their source and their oneness with the universe. Okay? That's why I'm here. And I'm totally succeeding on the mission. There might be room for improvement. There definitely is room for improvement. There's always more room for growth. And I'm super proud of what I'm already accomplishing. So it can only get better from here. Show me how it gets even better. Ask that. Ask the universe, God, source, creator, whatever, to show you. And right now I'm teaching you how to connect with your source, your sovereign creatorship in this life, which is freaking awesome. You're welcome. Thank you, Chris, for showing up and doing this. You create your reality. You are in a conversation, communication with the universe, God, source, creator, whatever you want to call it. And when you say show me more clarity. Show me my mission that I'm meant to stand for, that I'm meant to champion. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to start getting evidence and hints and nudges for where you should be going. Where it's like should is a difficult word. Has energy and stuff. It has obligation attached to it. And there's no like obligation. There's no right or wrong for you to do in this universe. There's just your personal truth, like what is right for you, what is in alignment, what's the next step, what is growing for you, what is dying for you, what is devolving for you. Be aware of that stuff. Ask your higher power or your inner self, or your intuition, whatever you want to call it, for guidance. Show me clarity. Show me my next steps. You know, I think a lot of people expect for the flashing sign. God says, "Hello, this is your mission. You are meant to save 1 billion people from this planet." And maybe you get that. Maybe you get that kind of message. I don't know. I didn't get that. I didn't hear anything like that. I just said, well, let's take the next step. Okay, I want to grow my business. Want to make more money. Want to make a bigger impact. Grow my brand. Okay, let's start a 12-hour marathon. Let's go. Okay, did the first 12-hour marathon. It's pretty cool. Should I keep doing it? Okay, let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it every week and grow and develop and evolve from there and make it even better. Okay, cool. And so part of it was trusting, having faith that every step along the journey was an empowering one, was one towards my greatest possible self. So if you want people to share you and share your message, make your message bigger than you. Make it about something bigger than just you, than just your business. And keep relating to what you're doing as the mission, as something bigger than you. If you say, hey, I'm doing something bigger than me, but then you never really remind yourself of that, then you kind of go back. If you haven't yet done this, you kind of go back, at least I did. I went back to just having it all be about me. Even though I said, oh, it's a mission. Then an hour later, it was all about me again. So you have to keep reminding yourself. It's a blessing to keep reminding yourself. It's a blessing to develop the habit, develop the neural pathways, the muscle, the mental muscle of telling yourself who you are, reminding yourself who you are, to reinvent and reimagine and re-energize that identity and the mission that you are sharing with the world. Okay? So if you want other people, let's share some more tactics, because I know that's what y'all love. If you want people to share your message, your mission, guess what? If you want to receive something, then you first get to give it. You first get to learn how to give it. You're first blessed how to give it. So share people's stuff out, right? Share people's content out. Feel the abundance of how many people are in your audience and in your community, and recognize that there's more than enough. So share the people who you really believe in. Take the time to do it. Like, you want to get your message out. You want to reach more people. Help others reach more people. You want to be shareable? Share others. Share their Instagram posts. Share their Instagram stories. Share their Facebook Live videos. Share other people first if you want to be share worthy. The second thing is, like, really get the feedback on what would it take to share your stuff. Are people not sharing your stuff? Are people sharing your stuff not at the level that you'd want them to? Ask people, hey, I noticed I share your stuff, but I'm not getting as much love as I'd want back from you, which is totally cool. I'm just curious, what would you need to see from my content? What would you need to experience so that you're willing to share it out to your audience? What would you have to have? What would you have to see? What kind of feeling? What writing needs to change? What content changes can I make? Do I need to get better pictures? Do I need to have better captions? Better calls to action? Do you just not feel like my stuff resonates with your audience? What does your audience really love? How can I create some stuff that your audience would love? So have a dialogue and a communication about the people who you respect and admire, and find out what they want so that they're willing to share your stuff with their audience. Okay? That's a great way to build that relationship. And I think a lot of people just don't even ask for people to share their stuff, right? I still have room to grow. Like I said, these are all areas I'm still growing in. Probably will to the day I die. And specifically, it's like asking, making bold freaking requests. Will you share this? Will you share it out with your audience? Will you tell people about this? Like, I'm so proud of what I'm doing. Will you share people about this? Will you let people know about this message, about becoming your greatest possible self? I love this show. I love this mission. I'm so freaking passionate about these guests. I heard something earlier this week that said, first you have to sell yourself. And you have to sell yourself on why you want something. So if you want, let's say, money, if you want a $10,000 month, maybe that's where you're at. Maybe you're past that, whatever. Change it with whatever number or thing resonates with you. If you want a $10,000 month, why? Why do you want it? Why are you so committed that you will work day and night? You will move heaven and earth. You will do whatever it takes as long as it takes to create that. Why is that important to you? Is it to provide for your family? Is it to give yourself nice clothes? You're tired of caring whether or not you get clothes dirty because it takes too much effort to clean them, or it costs too much money to go to the dry cleaners. That was something I used to think. Like, I didn't want to wear nice clothes, because I didn't want to get it dirty. I was afraid of getting it dirty. I was afraid of having to wash it. I was afraid that the quality would decrease. Oh my gosh, the clothes are nice. They're really good. They're clean. They're pristine. Don't wear it because it will get dirty. And so it's almost like I said, someday I will be worth wearing these clothes. Someday I will have more than enough to clean these clothes. And it's stupid. I wore these like wife beaters. That's not a great. I don't know why the heck they call them that. Tank tops, like tank top. I wore those all the time while I was working because I didn't want to get things dirty. Right. So like, ask yourself, what are you worth? Are you worth selling yourself? What do you really want? Why do you want it? What is important to you? Why are you going to take the actions? Why does this goal matter? You have to sell yourself first. You have to go out and tell people, why do you want it? Why do you want 10 people in your freaking mastermind paying 10 grand each? Why do you want to get paid $100,000 a year for people to be in your mastermind? Why do Petty and I, why do we want to do this Bali retreat in November? Why? Because we know people's lives are transformed from being in that kind of environment. We know that some people have never been outside of the country. We know that some people have never been to Bali, had this luxurious experience. We know some people have never been to the ocean, have never been to water. We know that some people are playing fucking small. And we're here to activate them. We're here to remind them of their greatness, of their potential, of their genius, of their light that the world is hungry and desperate and starving for. That's why we're creating this retreat. And that's why people will go. People love me and Petya. People love how we show up. People love our intensity, our passion, our fire, how much fun we have, how much we enjoy and love life. And people want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. People want to grow themselves. They want to get their message out more. They want to be aware. They want to get illuminated on what's stopping and blocking them. And we're providing that space. We are providing that transformation. We are providing a luxury experience so that people get to remember who they really are and what they're really worth and what they deserve. You deserve to have one-of-a-kind lifetime experiences as often as you want. What used to be, you can go to Bali or Europe maybe once or twice in your lifetime. That was like the 9 to 5 conversation that I got growing up. Like Bali wasn't even possible. Like that wasn't even on the radar in my home. Another country, Mexico. Let's go. let's do a cruise on down to Mexico. But these exotic destinations, like the rest of the world, was so foreign to me. And I know that there's people out there like that who haven't yet experienced the world. And I'm committed to breaking through with them and experiencing that with them. I'm going to Czech Republic in December. I'm doing Bali in November. Like I am saying, Chris Burns up till now and who he's been, what he's accomplished, great. Thank you very much. I love you, bro. And it's time to fucking expand. It's time to truly be global. The global influencer, the global speaker, the global authority, and the global expert that you know you're meant to be. The global stage presence. Brand, the global brand. Chris Burns, Burn It Up Coaching, becoming your greatest possible self. The time is now. And that's the energy that people are going to be stepping into. That people are stepping the F into at this retreat in Bali. And who better to spend and invest the time with than me and my girlfriend, who just deliver so much love, so much light, just being around us. We are fucking expansive, awakening, igniting, energizing, electrifying, passionate, sexy. We're sexy. I own that me and my girlfriend, we're pretty dang sexy. Power couple, right? Like we're such a power couple, so powerful. Do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to feel awakened? Bali retreat. If you want to find out more, send me a message. We're still getting all the details and the page together, the registration page together. But if you want to be on the waiting list, I can let you know when that happens. And I just want you to know that sharing your message, whether it's on stage or it's on a podcast, creating content, writing a book, whatever it is, make it about something bigger than yourself. Sell yourself first on why, on what the benefits are, how you will grow. Write that down. Write something down right now. Take a screenshot, put it on Instagram stories, put it on Facebook stories, whatever. What is the thing that you're going for and why? Why must you do it? Why are you so committed, so decided? Why must you get to your $10,000 a month? Why must you get 10 people in your program? Why must you go on 10 dates by the end of the year? Whatever it is for you, right? Why must you do that? Why must you become this person? Why must you step up into your greatest possible self? Get crystal clear on that. Be aware of that. When you've sold yourself, when you are aligned, when you're congruent, when you are totally embodying that version of yourself, anything is possible. Okay? Damn sexy. Oh, I love it. I'm just like totally reading the comments right now. I just love being in the flow. Like I love y'all, and these comments are awesome. It is beautiful, and I just love unleashing. Petya says rockets and planes and islands and all kinds of amazing things. People get to remember who they are. Adam's a world traveler too. Petya and Adam are world travelers. I'm sure Adam will be talking about that in a little bit on his interview. But it's just like, just know that you're worth it. Know that your message gets to get out there. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to take responsibility for that first for yourself. You have to own it. You have to trust. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Don't judge yourself. Don't compare yourself. Don't get caught up with that stuff. Study people who you respect and admire. How are they sharing their message? Who are they associated with? And how can you be around those people more? I'm declaring right now, I am up-leveling my associations. I am up-leveling the type of people who I'm around. I'm up-leveling my bold requests to the people who I respect and admire. I'm up-leveling my ability to contribute and share those people out and bring awareness and attention to their cause, to their mission. I'm committed to being someone who gives back. I'm committed to being someone who gives without expecting any kind of return. That's who I am. That's who I'm embodying. That's the message I'm sharing out with you, with the world right now. Like, own that aspect of yourself. Own that you get to be that person too, to really make a difference. Book the plane ticket. Get out in the world. But we want to be in the flow with you, Petya says. I love it. I love it. I agree. I want you with me as well. So I want to hear what was your biggest takeaways from this conversation. We're diving into some gold, and we're also at the point of wrapping up right now. And your message matters. Your gifts matter. Share them with the world, however that is. And, whether it's just developing it in the first place, developing the clarity on it, taking the next step. If it's being able to present yourself, having proper presentation, like I know Adam is going to be talking about in a little bit, and really sharing yourself and your appearance and your brand and what you're all about in an empowering way, maybe that's what you need to work on. Maybe you know who you are and just not enough people are hearing about you and knowing about you. Then it's time to get on more podcasts and be bold and make requests and say, hey, how can I get on the 12-hour marathon? Become your greatest possible self. Be a guest. Send me a message. Send people a message, whoever. If you get a no or no for right now, it's okay. You're not a fit for everyone. Don't try to be a fit for everyone. But for the people who align with you, who are right for you, that's what you want anyways. You don't want to try to fit into somebody else's box that you're not a fit for, that you don't align with, that you're not meant to be in. Trust that the right people, the right platforms, the right opportunities are showing up for you. Okay? It's essential that you own that you're not for everyone. And I think this will be the final tip and piece of wisdom I want to share with you is what makes you polarizing. You might have heard about this before, but I really want to make sure that you're activating and utilizing it. What makes you polarizing? What makes you different than others? What do you stand for and what do you stand against? For me, I stand for people really being their greatest possible selves. What do I stand against? I stand against people getting caught up in things that don't really affect their lives. Gossip, drama, typically politics. Like politics affects us, yes, and how much control do we really have over it? I mean, it depends on where you're at and your level of influence, your audience. things like that. Really, at any point, you can make a difference in that. For me, though, I just see, how can I make the biggest difference possible? It's not going to be to try to fit myself into another system that is currently really heavily swinging and dominated one way. I'm going to create my own system. I'm going to create my own impact, my own community, my own ecosystem, so I can really cause that change and transformation. Think to yourself, where do you make the biggest difference? How do you be polarizing so that you can stand out for what you really love and stand out for what you stand against? I stand against people being a victim. I stand against people staying stuck. I stand against people who talk like they want change and they want to do something, want a different life, but they aren't actually doing anything. I stand against people who complain. I stand against people who gossip. I stand against liars and cheaters and thieves who don't want to change. Some people wind up at that place because of life circumstances. And if I go have a conversation with them and say, hey, you are totally screwing up and you're not being a good person, do you want to do something about it? And they say no. Okay, peace. I ain't got time to waste on you. I got time, plenty of time for the people who are changing the fucking world. And I'm going to go have conversations with them. I'm going to go create projects, plans, initiatives, and actions and communities and evolutions that make a huge impact. If someone says, yes, I am willing to change, great, here's your next steps. Let's follow up in a week, a month, a year, whatever, when you've taken this, and come back to me and let me know how you've done with this particular step. If they come back and they haven't done anything, say, okay, you're not really that committed. Peace out. Let me know when you actually are willing to do what you say. You actually have integrity and you actually want to make a difference and get out of this life. Okay? Super, super important. So I love helping people, and not everyone wants the help. Not everyone deserves the help right now. So figure out who deserves your help. Figure out who deserves your message and your love and your time and your attention, because they're precious. Your energy is precious. Focus it in the direction that makes the biggest difference, that brings you the greatest joy, that brings you the greatest return on investment, whether that's financial, whether that's environmental, societal, whatever matters most to you, spiritual. Choose to invest your time and your energy wisely. Okay? So, if you have any more questions, if you want to get in contact with me, facebook.com/th3burns, Instagram @IamMillionaireChris, email chris@beyourgps.com, beyourgps.com. And if there's any other way you want to support or get a hold of me, I'm here for you. Okay? If you want the support, I'm here for you. Just keep showing up. Keep taking those steps into your GPS. I love you mucho. Thank you, thank you, thank you.